Hi, this is Christine here. Welcome to my channel. If you are new to my videos, I do hope I earn your subscription today. I already done one of my hands, and here I'm going to show the process of how I did it on the other hand. It's a bit rough on the first hand, but I will clean that up in a bit. The forms were a little bit tricky to put on because I had that other form on my little finger. The only reason why I had the form on the little finger there is because the acrylic on that part hadn't hardened yet, so I had to wait and leave that for a bit. The attempt today, it is the fourth one of doing my own nails with acrylics, so we'll see how it goes. I think I've learned a few bits and pieces from before. The acrylic had finally hardened on my little finger, so I squeezed on the bottom of the foam, very gently rocking it sideways to kind of loosen it, and then I pulled it down to get it off. The acrylic powder and monomer I'm using is Saviland. It's from the UK, and this one that I'm using here, it was the clear one. I got my brush nicely saturated and then took off any excess of the monomer and then carefully dipped it in to get a small bead. I was using the brush number 8. I'll be focusing the powder kind of from the halfway point of the nail and then down. And I do that because I really want to get the forms off, because they are tricky to work with and get in nice and thin even layer with the forms on for me because they're so big. So here I'm just kind of pressing it into shape. I'm going down to number 3 on the form. I just need to move it until it have reached the position I want it on. I decided to start small with as small of a brush as I could do, mainly because my nails are really small naturally, so like I was using a bigger brush in the previous attempts of me doing this, and it was so hard to do. I did see that I put a little bit much product on one side of my nail, but I will be filing that away when it's dry, because now it's so dry that I can't really move it around very much anymore. When these are dry, my idea is to take away the forms and then go back over again and do another layer and try to get as close as I can to my cuticles without going on top of them. I'm still not used to using my left hand to do the nails on the right hand, but I make it work. I am right-handed, so this part is pretty difficult. I'm building the layers on these. I started very small and then I just added layer on top of that and until it got to the kind of thickness that I was looking for. One of the beads that I was doing right here was a little bit dry, but I put it down and then I put more monomer on my brush, and then I was able to move it into position and shape the nail a little bit. And I just added a little bit more monomer to kind of soften the nail out as well. I will be making my nails kind of oval shaped this time. I usually go for kind of more squared, but this time I wanted ovals. On the natural nail, I do have a light brown acrylic. Because when I eventually take this stuff off, I don't want to go down to filing to my natural nail, so I will be sure that I only go down to the bottom layer of the different color acrylic. I actually forgot to say that when I was doing the prepping of the nails, I did already place the base coat on there earlier. You didn't see me do it, but I did it before I started recording. Almost done with the first part of this, and then I have to wait a while. Time to take off the forms. I do that very carefully because I don't want anything to break. I just kind of wriggled it loose. The thumb was really stuck on there. With this only being the 4th time I'm doing this, I'm actually quite pleased with how it looks so far. I opened up the secure tabs on the top first and then very carefully pushed it down and out. I wish I could grow my own nails to this length. This is just the perfect length. I feel you can still do stuff and you're not too restricted on being able to do things. For some reason, the little fingers were actually more stuck than the other ones, so I had to be super careful because I did not want to break it. When it does come off eventually, it was so satisfying to get it off because it's not very comfortable to have these on. And now comes the massive task of filing these guys up. They are very rough right now, but that will all become better. I will speed up the filing. I got this e-file not too long ago, like within the last few days, and I was using that to smooth the very top of my nail because the file that I was using felt a little bit too rough, so I just wanted to kind of make it a little bit smoother. It's smooth enough for stuff to still stick to it, but that it would look good with just a clear coat because it's getting late and I don't want to have to put the color on tonight because it will take too long. It is time to do the top section of my nail there. I want to have the cuticle area as thin as possible, but I also want to seal in the previous acrylic that I put on, so I want to have a nice smooth layer that basically covers what I already did and blends really well from the top and down. If the brush gets a little bit sticky when doing this, just need to add a little bit more of the monomer and go back over the top of it, and that will let you help smooth out bits and pieces. I'm going as close to my cuticle as I can while avoiding putting anything on top of it. It looks quite smooth, so I was quite happy with that. You can very clearly see the difference there between the half nail and the full nail, and it's coming together quite nicely. A little close up. Now, this is only the 4th time of me doing this, so I think they look pretty good for it just being the 4th time. Time to do the second hand. I'm gonna speed this one up because it's basically the same as I did on the first hand, so Here we go. I feel like I managed to get them quite the same thickness and the same length, pretty much the same shapes, but there is a bit more filing to do. I like how the nails are quite symmetrical here. I am doing the hand filing because I'm not too used to the e-file yet, so I only use the e-file for the kind of areas that I can't reach with the hand file, or smoothing out the ridges slightly because the grit on the hand file is quite strong. Time for the top coat, because I don't want to have to do the colors today because it's past midnight and it's way past bedtime. Before I put this top coat on, I did clean off the dust from my fingers as well. When applying a top coat, base coat or colour, I always cap the nail as well, so the colour kind of then wraps around the nail and doesn't just sit on the top, because it can chip a lot easier if you don't wrap it. This top coat needs to be cured for 90 seconds. And because I am doing it on both the underside and the top side for the coat, I do need to do the curing on both sides for the 90 seconds each. Phase 1 is now completed. I did add a little bit of cuticle oil to my fingers because I have done quite a lot of nail work in the last few days. It is now 2 days after the original video recording. I didn't have the chance to do my nails yesterday, so I'm going with it today. I was given a suggestion of what colours to put on, and I'm rolling with it. Sorry about the video formatting. I don't understand why it did that. I put the phone in the same place as what I did when I was recording 2 days ago. Before I did the color, I sanded off the old top coat so that the gel color would have something to grip onto. I'm wrapping the tips, and then I will cure both the top and underside for 90 seconds each. Next I will do the lighter purple on the other hand. While the lighter color is curing, I am sitting there and just looking at the darker color and just admiring how deep that color is. That's an incredible contrast. The final touch is to do a top coat over that again. Best to not forget the cuticle oil. My cuticles were a little bit dry from all the work I'd done to my hand over the last week. All done, and these look pretty good. I'm really happy with them. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope that I will see you again in a future video. Bye.